You can never have enough brushes, guys, ladies, whatever. I do not judge. You do you, boo. You can never have enough brushes, all right? That's all I'm saying. Okay, you guys, so we're gonna talk brushes as quickly as I can. So I've had a lot of people request a brush video, and the only reason I haven't got around to it is because every time I sit down and start to kind of plan or prepare for what I want to say about brushes, it just turns into this like very cumbersome and overwhelming tutorial. So I thought, screw it, I'm just going to simplify it as much as I can and do the best I can, show you the brushes that I absolutely 100% feel that you need in your kit to apply your makeup the best that you can. If we've done a one-on-one, you already know some of these brushes. I am not one to only push brushes that I sell, because I do feel like there are some brushes that you can get a little bit cheaper that are going to work just as well. But then again, there are some Limelight brushes in here where it's non-negotiable because it is for the quality especially. That's one of the things that I wanted to talk about when it comes to brushes. I can recommend all day a $1 brush. So here is an AOA Studios brush. I've recommended this in the big Kabuki brush. And for the $1 that it costs, or the $2 if you get them both together, it's a great value, right? I mean, we can afford $2. But the problem is when you start getting into the cheaper brushes, long term, you're going to see why you only paid $2 for it. So I've been through probably 3 of these because this metal piece separates from the stick and it breaks, and I kid myself into thinking I will super glue it and make it work, and I don't, or the super glue doesn't actually work and it just keeps breaking. I wash my brushes about 2 to 3 times a month, sometimes more, sometimes less, depending on how often I'm using them, especially with clients. So for me, it's important. Yes, I love a good cheap brush, but it's also important that I have good quality brushes because I'm washing them so much. I need them to last. So when I can, I'm going to recommend an affordable brush. And when I cannot recommend an affordable brush, I'm going to tell you straight up why the brush is worth the money. All right, so let's start. Okay, 3 brushes you need for your eyes, and I'll try to explain them as simply and as in layman terms as possible. This guy right here. So this is a fluffy brush. It's going to diffuse the color more, blur it out. It's going to help you blend. I use this for blending. I use this for most of my lighter shades because it is fluffier. It's covering a broader area and it's diffusing the color. So where you don't want a thick, heavy color, this brush I absolutely love. It is Morphe Jaclyn Hill, but I also have just the regular Morphe. And you guys, I love this brush so much. I shit you not. Let me show you how many of these brushes I have. Because you cannot have enough of these fluffy, they're all the same. They might look different because of the color or the make of them, but they're all the same, you guys. They're all that fluffy. Great for shading, great for diffusing. I mean, it's sad. My brush collection is very sad. Not sad if you're a makeup artist, but if you're a husband watching your wife spend all this money on brushes, it's sad. But, so these are all my fluffy brushes. I've still got a few more I'm not going to dig. You need one of these brushes, whether it's Morphe, Sonia Kashuk, which I think is at Target, for the diffusing brush, for the blending brush, for the transition brush. You want to grab yourself a Morphe. Let's just keep it simple. You can probably find it in other brands, but I seem to have it most in the Morphe, so just stick with Morphe. You can't go wrong. I've got the Jaclyn Hill JH32. Fluffy, diffuse it, blow the color out, great for blending and bigger areas. Then this little guy, which I use a lot, it's from e.l.f., so that means it's affordable. I have not had this break on me yet. I've been using this one for a while. It's been through a ton of washing and it's still holding up, but it's very tightly packed, okay? This is a very dense brush, very short, so it's more precise. I use this under on my lower lash line, and I want to get in there and be nice and precise with it. This brush is awesome. This is also awesome when you're using like a pencil liner. So you draw an eyeliner. I don't like a heavy, harsh line on anywhere on my face. So I'll come in with this guy and just smudge it out and soften that line. So you definitely need a smudge brush. I've got so many of these. So I've got two e.l.f.'s. Where's this one from? Oh, Rite Aid Renewal. So you guys, this brush is very easy to find. Again, it doesn't have to be expensive. What is this one? BH Cosmetics, the same thing, very short, tightly packed. All four of these brushes all do the exact same thing. Now, my third and last eye brush that you absolutely, I'm just making sure that it is my third and last for eye brushes, but my third and last eye brush, this is Lime Life. This brush is just for applying a very opaque, intense, vibrant, deep color, like all over my lid here, or maybe the darker color in the corner of my lid. I did a separate video. I'll share the link to that so you can see why I use this brush, but this is more tightly packed, more dense. So when you're applying, you're gonna get a very bold, pigmented result from using this brush. I have not found a comparable brush to this, and I have a ton when it comes to applying a more intense, vibrant, bolder, deeper color to your eye. You want a tighter brush like this. And I'm telling you, like I said before, you guys, I'm not one to push something just because I make a commission off of it. I don't make a commission off the e.l.f. sales, the Morphe, any of these. But when it comes to well-made brushes, I see the value in them now because I've had so many brushes break on me. But what happens is the metal separates. And you can see the difference between the make of both of these brushes. So here you've got two separate pieces. So probably from water and me cleaning my brushes all the time, it gets in there, it separates the glue, and it's completely useless to me now. Whereas this guy, I don't know how much this brush is, but I can tell you it's probably more than that. This is one solid piece. Nothing is separating. This is solid freaking metal. This guy is not gonna break. So yes, there are some brushes where they perform so well and I love them so much, I will spend the money on them to make sure that they last me longer than 3 or 4 months. So sometimes it is necessary to spend a little bit more money on a brush you know you're gonna love and use a lot of. So going back to my eye brush, strongly recommend this guy. This guy's gonna pack it on and give a real punch to whatever eyeshadow or color you're applying with this brush. So, all right, let's go to face. So for applying my concealer and contour, so where I'm using like thinner lines of things and not as much, I'm not trying to cover as big of an area, I'll come into a tighter brush. So for a more quality brush, I love using my Lime Life Stipple. It's the skinny Stipple, comparing it to the big one. You can see the difference. I love this guy. I know this is gonna last me forever. It's still gonna do the job, help me get right in there really good. It's gonna help me blend the lines. And then I also have the Real Technique ones, which is what I recommend usually on one-on-ones, just to save money, work more with your budget. But it's Real Techniques, again, a stipple brush. It's got a smaller surface, so it's gonna let you get in there for the more smaller areas that you're trying to blend in. So these two for my concealer, contour, application. All right, these tighter stipple brush. If you're looking to save money, Real Techniques. If you have the money to spend, definitely the Lime Life. All right, so coming to applying foundation. So you're applying to a bigger surface, so you want a little bit of a bigger brush, but again, you want a densely packed brush so that you're applying more full coverage. So if you want a lighter coverage, and this is why the brush video is taking me so long to do, because there's so many little tangents you can go on when you're talking about brushes. When I'm applying my foundation, y'all know I love a full coverage. I don't play. If I'm gonna put something on my face, I'm gonna put it on so you can tell it's on. So when I'm applying foundation, I'm coming in with a brush that's gonna make it more opaque and more full coverage. So if I'm not using a beauty blender, and this could be a whole nother video, because let me tell you, while we're on the topic of tools to apply your makeup, let's talk about beauty blenders. I was using these guys. I get this by subscription through Amazon once a month, or every other month I have this 10-pack shipped to me automatically. It's like $10. It's ridiculously cheap. So this was ideal for me. And I love these, and these were great. And you know, if you said you needed a sponge, I would say, hey, grab these. But what happened is I dipped into my Blenderful, which is really dirty right now. What you can do with a sponge, as a side note, what you can do with your sponges is also clean them, just like you clean your brushes. I use my coconut cleanser, which comes in a little dish, so you just swirl it around and squeeze it out and clean. You should see a before and after. I'll try to insert a picture. I think I did one before. But what happened is I pulled this out. I think I got this in an Amaze box, and I just decided to use it because it was within reach. I had just thrown out one that, you know, after I use one for like a month, I get rid of it and then start with a fresh one just to be safe with bacteria or anything like that. So I tried this and I got it wet, and you know, it's like a $12 or $16. I don't know. I'll put the price up because I don't know off the top of my head how much this is, but it's a little bit pricier for one Blenderful. Yeah, that ruined it for me because you can feel the difference in how soft this is compared to a cheap sponge. So you do get what you pay for, and sometimes you don't realize you're getting what you're paying for until you compare it to something better. So the Blenderful is another thing where its quality does matter, and now I can never go back to using these. I'm gonna have a hard time even recommending these, except when I know that somebody's working with a budget. I would recommend the Blenderful. If you are on a budget, Amazon. Just make sure it's latex free. That's all I'm gonna tell you. When it comes to face brushes, like I was saying, you're gonna use this guy. You want a tight Kabuki brush if you like full coverage. If you like a more light to medium coverage, use a more fluffy brush, because then it's just gonna move the color around a little bit better. It's not gonna pack it on right where you put it. This again is Real Techniques, so you get this where at like Rite Aid or Ulta for super cheap. It came in like a pack of different, this might have actually even come in a pack where both of these brushes came together. I can go right into my foundation with this. Go right in with the brush, apply it to your face. You're gonna get a more full coverage when you're using a tighter, more densely packed brush. I also like this guy. It's another stipple brush. It's a bigger one, not to be confused with the little guy. This is like the brother and sister set or the mom and daughter set. This is the little one that I use for the concealer, getting in more smaller, tighter spaces. And this guy is awesome. If you like a lighter to medium coverage, because it is a little bit more foofy, more fluffy, it's gonna blend the makeup a little bit more for you. But I use this guy at the end of my entire makeup application before I set it and put any setting powder or setting spray on. I just give one more brush over with this to blur all of the lines from my contour, my blush, my highlighter, all the things that are on my face. I use this to kind of blur it all together. And I absolutely love this. And again, it's a very quality brush. It's not going to break on me. It's very solid, could be used as a weapon. I mean, this is a solid metal handle to it. This brush is no joke. I mean, yeah. The last brush that I use is my blush brush. This guy, I have no idea where I got this. This brush is, if I told you how old this brush is, you'd probably be grossed out. It's been with me for a long time, probably since the Jills. So that gives you an idea of how long I've had this brush. But I love it. It's all like mashed and mangled in the center. I don't give a shit. I do wash this. But I just love it. I love the shape of it. I love how it is kind of a firmer brush. So when you're applying blush, it's a little bit more tricky. You don't want it too loose because you're not trying to put blush all over the sides of your face. You don't want it too tight because you don't want the blush to be intensely pigmented, unless you do. In that case, use a densely packed brush. This brush is just kind of that midway between dense enough so that the blush pops and you can see it, small enough where it just puts it right exactly where I want it. So I've been using this brush forever. For a quality comparable brush, this guy just hasn't been mashed down the same way this one has been, but the surface is about the same, the density is about the same, it's still got about the same movement on it. So this is another great blush brush where it's gonna put it where you want it. It's not gonna like put it all over your cheek, and it's going to help it be pigmented just enough where you can see the blush but it's not like you can only see the blush. You know what I'm saying? And now I'm just showing you the absolute favorite must-have brushes that I have in my kit that I use all the time, that are my go-tos. I mean, you guys, here's one dish of brushes. Here's another dish of brushes. Here's my actual brush carrying case. So like, now you get it. Now you see why this video is taking me so long to do, because where do you start? I mean, clearly I have an obsession and a love for brushes. I understand the value of them. I understand the difference between each one. A guy would look at this, or he would look at these and be like, what do you need all those brushes for? They're all the same. No, they're not. This one, you know, is way different than this one, which is way different than this one. Like, you can buy me a brush that looks like a brush I already have. It's like jeans and shoes. You know the difference. It could be even the slightest difference, but you know the difference, and I know the difference. And so getting ready to make this video kind of gave me anxiety, because I'm like, where do I start? Like, I mean, how do I just narrow down to my favorite brushes? Like, I've got so many brushes in here. I mean, here's another great one that I would strongly recommend. It's Real Techniques, and it probably came in the kit with the other Real Techniques. This is another one where it's really great for applying. This is really great for smudging and blending as well for bigger surfaces. So I said that one brush, you see what's happening? You see what's happening? This video is just getting out of control, and I meant to do like a 10-minute video. So this brush smudges really thin, fine lines, like, you know, really thin lines like an eyeliner. This one is really great if you really want to kind of blend out even more where like your transition color is. You can never have enough brushes, guys, ladies, whatever. I do not judge. You do you, boo. You can never have enough brushes, all right? That's all I'm saying. But if you're going to the store and you're like, what brushes do I need? I mean, it's like lashes. Like, you get there to the lash section and you're like, holy shit, there's so many options. Where do I even start? If you have any questions, if there's a specific body part that you're not sure what brush to use, or technique you're not sure what brush to use for, private message me. I hope this video helped you, because I feel even more confused and chaotic than I did when I sat down to film this. But you guys, brushes matter. The quality matters. If you can afford to get a good brush, definitely do it. If there's any kind of brush that you need or want or are looking for and you're not sure where to find it, or you want some feedback, private message me. I am here to help you guys out. This is my thing, man. Like, makeup is my jam. I do not mess around. I love my brushes. I get the difference between all of them. So if you need help with the brushes, private message me. But I hope this video helped you. If it helped you, please share this video so it can help somebody else. Make sure you guys are subscribed to my channel. And questions, comments, post them below. But I hope you guys are having a great day, and I'll see you all soon. Ciao, Bellas.